I've just become more interested in, some of these broader investigative stories. And so I've been writing much more investigative, just like stuff, doing like blockchain analysis, like looking at, the chain analysis type stuff.
What's drawing you more to that side of reporting?
I'm sure you feel this. It's just fun. Like I think I'm still figuring out what I enjoy in crypto, in journalism, I was going to say, and just in life. And one of the things that I've definitely narrowed it down to is just the ability to kind of figure out things that you're not supposed to know on a very superficial level is like exciting to me and like makes me excited to work every day. So I think that.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think it's funny because a lot of people they've got like this sort of reticence to talking to journalists, but then there's a little bit of them like eager to talk anyways and eager to drop some sort of source or some sort of like wild document or something. But then at the same time, it's like, oh, you're a journalist, I shouldn't be talking to you, or this is probably going to go into some story or something like that.
Yeah. You find that in particular in crypto, like people are more open. It's almost like shooting fish in a barrel, when it comes to finding scoops, because people are so, loose-lipped, I guess, relative to, what I imagine it would be like covering the traditional beat, or, even broader tech beat. But I also find that you have to be careful. And I've run into this like a couple times in the past few years where people don't realize how journalism works. In crypto, I'm sure this has come up. Maybe it's come up on your show, maybe not. But like, people will talk to you, and you do have to kind of like, as much as you try to walk people through what on the record means or what on background means, like, and I don't even use on background a lot of the time anymore. I just describe like, hey, we're going to characterize it this way. We can use a descriptor, that sort of stuff. You kind of have to train people so they understand what it means when they're talking to you, so that they're not caught off guard.
Well, I also think that there's like a side of things where journalists also need that sort of media literacy and like understanding properly how to do their reporting, how to source, how to vet their sources, how to, explain to their sources, this is how it's going to come out. This is how I'm going to like quote you. This is what it's going to look like. I mean, not entirely, obviously, but this is going to go on the record, off the record, all that sort of stuff.
This is on the record, right? I'm assuming this whole conversation is on the record.
This whole conversation is on the record, aside from there being like a massive record thing in the front just before we started talking.
That's the other thing people don't know. You should tell people if you're recording your interviews. I mean, laws and stuff. I learned this in college when I was doing reporting, but a lot of people I'm surprised that we will hire, we have to explain like, hey, if you're going to, record your interview, you have to tell people, depending on if it's a one-party, two-party consent sort of a situation.
Well, I feel like I've spoken to a few people that I know that sometimes they're a bit like, and I'm not going to drop any names, of course, but they're like, oh, sometimes I feel like people won't talk to me if I tell them that it's on the record or something. And I'm like, yeah, but where's the ethics of like...
That's kind of the whole idea, right?
Yeah.
You should tell them.
Like the first thing you should tell them is like, yo, you're on the record. We're going to be talking about this. I've got these questions, because you got to prepare them, because otherwise you just can't use it,
I'm also learning, like, you have to be so careful, because I mentioned, like, there's 2 times in my, journalistic career where I was talking to somebody. I thought it was on the record. I can even point to parts of our conversation where on my end, I was explicitly clarifying that things were on the record. And for whatever reason, we talked past one another. It was a surprise to the individual. Even on a recent story, at the beginning of a call, I was like, we're going to use your name, so I have it recorded, but still this person was surprised because earlier on in the conversation, they had said, hey, I don't want to be attributed. And then we talked. I don't know if they changed their mind. Maybe it was something like that as well. And I don't know what was genuine there, but, you don't want to, especially if people are doing you the favor of talking to you, you never want to quote somebody, like next to misquoting, you certainly don't want to quote somebody who doesn't want to be quoted.